Hello, I am Jashikins, and welcome to another review that is not meant to be viewed by kids. And as always, when I'm doing something with a script's there, camera's there, and feeds over here. So if you see me every now and again just, turning, that's why that's happening. Also, I just want to repeat some wise words that, I really wish I had remembered better and taken into account of how I lived my life. Never trust a fart. Yeah. Never trust them. They are liars. I can attest to that because of occurrences today. Anyways, let's actually get on to tackling my review of Midnight Sun. During the height of the Twilight craze, I didn't want to read the series because of all the negative things said about it. But I did end up reading the series, as I can't truly have an opinion on something if I don't read it. Take note, YouTube reviewers. You should read or watch everything if you put up a review. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it and found myself hating it a lot less than I expected. I, of course, heard about the fact that Stephenie Meyer was in the midst of writing Midnight Sun, but then stopped once part of the manuscript was leaked. For a while, I thought this proved Meyer was less of a writer due to her quitting. But then it dawned on me that I loathed anyone seeing one of my stories unedited. So, how could I criticize Meyer for reacting like a human being? Luckily, she actually finished the book and brought some more so bad it's good content out into the world. Now, past this point, there's going to be spoilers all over the place. So, if you hate spoilers, stop now and read the book. And everywhere I post this video, I will be posting a link to where you can buy the book. So, yay, there's a nice, easy way. I mean, you could just go into, the description, go down there, and clickety-click and ta-da! Okay, so do I have everyone here remaining doesn't mind spoilers or has already read the book? Good. So, feel something in my teeth, but so let's keep going. Should have taken better care of brushing my teeth before filming. But anyways, part 1. The ending is more exciting than Twilight's ending. The original 4 Twilight books were told from Bella Swan's point of view. The first book in the series, aka Twilight, was not a very exciting story for her. Her drive throughout the book was what to do about her feelings for a boy that seemed to show no interest in her. A normal person would give the pursuit up, but not Bella. I guess she's actually the smart one because she became a powerful immortal by the end of the series. Now all she needs to do is dump Edward and her life can really begin. Hopefully with Alice. Near the end of Twilight, there is finally action. While Bella watches the Cullen family play baseball, a group of 3 vampires see what the Cullen family is up to. Everything is going great until it's revealed that Bella is a human. James threatens Bella, which eventually leads to her having to hide from both James and Victoria. The third vampire opts out of being enemies of the Cullen family. Once Bella is safe with Jasper and Alice, she, for some reason, figures it'd be really fun to get fooled by James as she has a death wish. I guess? I mean, Bella doesn't find stalker behavior creepy in the least bit. As Midnight Sun is told from Edward Cullen's point of view, the ending is much more exciting than it has any right to be. Honestly, the insanity of the end makes reading the earlier bits more than worth it. Instead of Bella, who hid, Edward goes through great pains to track James and end the tracker's life, which makes him a more active character than his love interest. Edward, Carlisle, and Emmett all do their best to track down James before he kills Bella. They use Alice's visions as a way to give themselves an edge, though it turns out to be only a slight edge in the long run. They have to navigate through mountains and later have to track down James down to Arizona. There is an amazing, just amazing car chase that is just pure insanity. It involves Edward and gang causing I don't know, a 26 car pileup or some just insane number. To add to that excitement, they arrive just as James is about to kill Bella. The end of Midnight Sun is just pure fun. I'd love for it to be filmed just for that awesome chase scene, but I doubt they could get Robert Pattinson to return to his role of Edward, and honestly, I wouldn't blame him for refusing. He's a highly talented actor that, unfortunately, it's just, oh, Robert Pattinson is Edward and has done nothing else. I would highly suggest watching The Lighthouse. It stars both him and William Dafoe, and the acting chops Pattinson has is just amazing. So, I wouldn't blame him for refusing. No, just returning back to Twilight. After they rescue Bella, the Cullen family has to cover up their tracks. Vampire society is supposed to stay hidden from humanity because. So Alice takes control of the situation and uses her ability to see into the future to make sure no one will suspect what actually occurred. If not for the fact Bella's parents want her dead, things would have gone differently. I mean, they must hate Bella or else they wouldn't believe she simply fell down the stairs and ended up in the hospital. That's like, do you just want your daughter dead? Part 2. The book unintentionally makes Alice gay for Bella. Stephenie Meyer is a Mormon, which gives readers another way to look at the Twilight series, such as that it is extremely, highly unlikely she'd ever think of making one of her characters a member of the LGBTQ plus community. And if she did make a character bisexual, lesbian, etc., it would not be one of the main characters. So, of course, Alice Cullen is canonically a straight character. Canonically, there is no gay in her body. Heck, she even has a husband. But even in canon, Alice doesn't appear to be fully straight, which must be a mistake on Meyer's part. The vampire appears gay or bisexual because her interest in Bella goes beyond mere friendship. Alice's interest in her being siblings with Bella one day seems to not be entirely platonic. She tells Edward she loves Bella, but not like he does. To me, this indicates that Alice can tell Edward doesn't truly love the human and Alice actually loves her, which, therefore, is not the same Edward loves Bella. Okay. Okay, so that last part is totally a headcanon on my part. So, yeah, I found myself shipping Alice with Bella more so than in past books, which is a feat unto itself. Seriously. Part 3. What happened to the sports car? The final part of Midnight Sun is where things really pick up pace. Hell, there's a car chase. And, of course, Edward, Carlisle, and Emmett don't choose just any car when racing to get to James. The trio steals an extremely expensive sports car. So expensive that every part of it was custom made. Said expensive custom sports car ends up being wrecked by the Cullens as they race to get to James before the evil vampire can get to Bella. Alice ends up in charge of covering up what actually happened. She uses her visions as a way to plan everything perfectly so that no one will ever guess Bella being in the hospital had anything to do with vampires. Midnight Sun goes into great detail of how Alice covers everything up. But it's never mentioned how they stopped the sports car owner from asking questions. If someone has enough money to fully customize a car, they have more than enough money to open up an investigation into what happened to their valuable piece of property. The kind of money that car owner has must be enough to open doors that would otherwise stay closed. How the hell were the Cullens able to keep that car owner quiet? Part 4. Mike Newton is again dragged in the mud for no reason. Mike Newton is not a remarkable character, but hey, he's human. Mike is also a normal teenager. You know, that kind that has boring thoughts about going to prom or hanging out with on the weekends with friends. He has no thought about saving the world, but he does have thoughts of sexual encounters with various girls in his high school. Yet this very average guy is hated by Bella because he's kind. Yeah, you can see why she'd fall in love with an abuser if she thinks being kind is some kind of cardinal sin. Edward is jealous of Mike to the point the vampire fantasizes about killing the human multiple times in the book. Edward also hates that Mike has hormones and finds that to be extremely sinful. It makes no sense that the unremarkable Mike is so mistreated by Meyer. He has to have been based on someone that wronged Meyer in the past. Part 5. Actually, I'm drinking tea if you're wondering. And if the tea runs out, I have a little bottle of water. So, yeah. All the facts you did not want to know. Part 5. Bella seems. God, the words are right in front of me and I messed them up. At least it took me to part 5 this time to start messing things up. Sheesh. Anyways, part 5. Bella Swan is much more likable. The original Twilight books were all told from Bella Swan's point of view, aka POV, which meant that we got to know her extremely well. Knowing a character so well meant that readers loved or hated her. Bella was not the worst person in existence, but she wasn't exactly the best either. She ended up caring for her mother and later her father. This should mean she gained some level of maturity, and yet she still throws away her human life for a hot guy. She is both extremely caring while being selfish. One of the worst things she did over the series was decide her stalker was her soulmate. She didn't mind the fact that Edward watched her as she slept. Okay, she was horrified by the fact he heard her talk in her sleep, but she wasn't angry he had invaded her privacy in such a way. By the end of the day, Bella really isn't that likable in the original books. Midnight Sun changes the point of view to that of Edward Cullen. While he can read the minds of people, he can't read Bella's mind. So we aren't invited inside her head. Through Edward, we see not only his POV, but the POV of those around her. In this book, Meyer did a good job at making readers like Bella more than previously. Through Edward's eyes, we are able to see why the girl is so awesome. We are able to see how very caring she is. Though sometimes those moments are undercut by Edward dismissing her kindness as being extremely stupid. So, good job, Meyer, at making me like Bella much more than before. I sort of want to go back and reread the original Twilight books again so I can re-examine my thoughts on Bella. While I know that some moments in Midnight Sun changed some things in Twilight, I still want to go back to look at Bella in the original books. Part 6. Charlie proves humans may inherit abilities to defend against vampires. In the original books, we knew that Bella Swan had a special ability before being turned into a vampire. Specifically, the ability to automatically hide her thoughts from anyone who tried to delve into her mind. What readers didn't know until Midnight Sun was that Charlie Swan also possessed an ability to hide his thoughts. Edward, being egotistical, thought him not being able to read Charlie's mind was due to the man being a bore. That is, until the vampire met Bella. Unlike Bella, Charlie can't close off his mind completely to someone trying to eavesdrop on him, but he can close off his thoughts to any eavesdropper. Hang on. I did a last second edit, which I sometimes do with these scripts, and I just realized that edit was stupid. So let's rewind, pretend the last few seconds didn't happen. Okay. At least it's like this review is going great. Then part 5 happened and now it's all shit. Hey! Unlike Bella, Charlie can't close off his mind completely to someone trying to eavesdrop on him. He can close off his thoughts to any eavesdropper, but not his emotions. With this revelation, it seems like a more interesting series would explore humans who have natural talents to protect themselves against vampires. Heck, maybe these special humans would team up against the undead. Like, and yeah, the Midnight Sun also goes into Bella's mother having ability of her own, so it's like genetic stuff. It'd be amazing to explore, but at the same time, I don't really know if Meyer would be up to the task. Part 7. Edward's hatred of being a vampire is him deflecting blame from himself. Throughout this book, Edward hates the vampire side of him. In fact, that's one of his favorite things to brood about. Until near the very end of Midnight Sun, he is so ashamed of his vampire side that he thinks of it as a completely different person. To him, there is Edward and then a vampire living in the same body. But near the end of the book, he accepts the vampire side of himself. If this was a better written series, the moment Edward came to that conclusion would have been extremely powerful and moving. I think Edward's hatred of his vampire self is a deflection of how he really feels about himself. He knows he is a terrible person who likes to stalk. He knows he likes abusing and manipulating Bella since he is the only one he truly cares about. He knows he is a horrible person, but he can't consciously admit it, so he blames his vampire side for all of his faults. Okay, and with this last sip, I think I will finish this cup of tea. Part 8. The anti-sex rhetoric in this book. Meyer is a Mormon, which makes sense when you consider how the Twilight books aren't very sex positive. It also makes sense why Midnight Sun keeps up with the series' anti-sex positivity message. Mike Newton is shown as not a good person by the fact he has sexual thoughts about his classmates. Those whose hormones poured into their bodies during their teenage years will remember this is when they started having sexual thoughts. And boy, could those get weird. Yeah, really weird. Which I won't be discussing ever, if you're wondering. If not for Meyer being a Mormon, Mike being a normal hormonal teenager wouldn't be odd. A reason that Edward uses to show it's okay he watches Bella as she sleeps is because he doesn't have any sexual thoughts about her. As if that really excuses his stalker behavior. And now, to move on to the bottle of water. I'm sure this is exactly why you clicked on this review. Like, yeah, I want to hear a review of Midnight Sun, but I also want to hear someone talk about what they drink. Part 9. Rosalie is the best Cullen. My favorite Cullen is Rosalie. Midnight Sun only helps to make me love the character even more. Rosalie is concerned for the safety of her family when Bella enters their lives. She is more than aware that Edward isn't thinking things through and wants her family not to be thrown into anything because of his thoughtless actions. Rosalie is even willing to kill Bella if it means her family stays out of harm's way. Unlike what Edward thinks, Rosalie is not jealous of Bella. If anything, the vampire is concerned as she sees a human that is rushing into a dangerous situation. She wants the human to experience being a human instead of throwing that away for the complicated life of a vampire. Rosalie is willing to go against her own wants if it means pleasing her family. Such as when she believes giving Bella to James grants the Cullens the best chance at survival. She instead helps in protecting Bella and Charlie from the bad vampires. I think it's because Rosalie is actually competent and doesn't think Edward is the best thing ever that he hates her with a passion. He even goes to the lengths of using the fact she got vengeance against her rapists against her. If you have forgotten, Rosalie was raped by her fiancé and his friends and then left nearly dead by them. Carlisle then made her into a vampire, after which she killed them one by one. Now, that is a book I like to read. So, yeah, Edward is supposed to be a great hero, and yet he is not sympathetic at all to a rape victim. He thinks the trauma she experienced only makes her a worse person. Because, yeah, Rosalie had no reason at all beyond her being a monster to kill her rapists. What the fuck, Edward? Part 10. Midnight Sun. Sorry, I should have controlled myself there. Part 10. Midnight Sun attempts to justify stalking. Stephenie Meyer desperately wants readers to love Edward Cullen as much as she does. In Eclipse, she made it so that Jacob Black's character was changed just so people would stop rooting for Bella to end up with him. Never going to forgive Meyer for that. And thanks, Nose, for itching really badly near the end. Thanks for that. The major thing that makes me not able to see Edward as a love interest is how abusive his behavior is. Just because this is his first relationship and he feels sorry about some of his actions, it doesn't make him boyfriend material. Midnight Sun does a great job at looking at Edward's inner turmoil. As he's the narrator of the book, the reader understands him better than before. It shows how he's in a constant war against his vampire nature that tells him to kill. He also deals with self-doubt about how good of a person he actually is. But the book doesn't help me think of him as a love interest. In fact, Midnight Sun actually goes above and beyond to justify Edward's stalking of Bella. The book doubles down on making it appear like a romantic gesture. Not only does Edward get extremely close to Bella when she isn't aware, he also reads minds of people that are around her. This means that any privacy she had was gone the moment Edward set his eyes on her. And yet, Meyer wants you to think his stalking is totally romantic. The book reveals to us what Edward was thinking when he snuck into Bella's bedroom for the first time. As a reminder, he broke into her room without her knowledge and took his time before he told her what he had done. Oh, and he snuck into her room to watch her sleep multiple times. One of the ways he justifies doing... Oh, I was reading the words correctly. Okay, I'm good. One of the ways he justifies doing this the first night is that he's just protecting her, Who knows? A meteorite could come crashing into her room? And yes, he does use that exact reason as an excuse. Okay, okay, he does say it's obviously a metaphor. Meyer, you should need to clarify you're using a metaphor, or else that means your audience thinks Edward is stupid enough to think an actual meteorite will come crashing into Bella's house. Another justification he uses for the first night is that human laws don't apply to him. The thing is that every human law the Cullen family breaks is to help them blend into human society. His family doesn't break laws just because they want to stalk someone. After Edward watches Bella sleep for the first time, he finds yet another reason to justify his stalking. He finds it a major moral failing that Mike is a teenager with hormones. So he uses his hatred of the boy to make up another reason that watching Bella sleep is actually okay. And what is that other reason? Edward watching Bella sleep is actually okay because he's not jerking off to her. Just you shouldn't watch someone sleeping without their knowledge. It doesn't matter what your justifications are. All that matters is that you're invading someone's privacy. If you're watching someone sleep because it gets you off, that's wrong. If you're watching someone sleep because you're protecting them, that's wrong. Edward assumes that he got the ability to read minds once becoming a vampire since he was so good at reading people. However, Midnight Sun clearly shows how bad he is at reading people if he doesn't read their minds. Humanity is still a mystery to him even after living so long and being able to read minds. So, it is my personal belief that Edward got the ability to read minds once changing into vampire because of his obsessive need to stalk and control people. Bella's mind being hidden from him attracts him because he wants to obtain what he can't have. She's a challenge for him, not someone he truly loves. I was reaching to get my tea again. I'm like, oh yeah, I finished that. So that's my review of Midnight Sun by Stephenie Meyer. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with my assessment of the book? Do you have any different ideas? Just comment down below. Let's start a really, really nerdy conversation. And like this video if you pre-ordered the book. Oh shit. Sorry, I just realized I've been reading so much from my Kindle and not enough, and not hardbacks or paperbacks. So yeah, I should have done this in the beginning. Like, oh look, it's Midnight Sun. Look at my inability to think. But ta-da! And yeah, this is my original copy had a little tear in this dust cover, so they allowed a return and they sent me another copy for free. Technically this is my second copy. And also comment below if you have a ebook edition, paperback, or hardcover. Oh, yeah, I was keeping this by here. Like, I'm going to use this for the review, and I guess I sort of used it. Also, remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel of mine. I will have more full-length reviews out in the future. I'm actually doing some Patreon exclusive reviews of all the Doom books, so you'll probably see a real long gap between, reviews on this channel because of that. I did take time this year for doing the Hunger Games prequel and Midnight Sun, but I'm going to get through a bunch of other reviews of the Doom books before I do a review on this channel. And what review will I be doing next sometime in the far, far future? Star Wars: The New Rebellion by Christian Catherine Rush. I promise. I'm going to do this next. I promise. I promise. I know I've been promising that for a while, that this would totally be the next review, but yeah. So, I hope you're all doing well. And remember, never trust a fart, and I feel fart coming on, so I am ending this video. Bye.